Hi, my name is Paula Gonzalez and I will be discussing women's rights. I will begin discussing the history of women's rights, followed by historical women who helped fight for these rights. I will then compare times before, which I will be talking about the early 1900s, and how they are today. I will add studies that provide the inequality we have today and how it is not very different from before. What are women's rights? They are the fundamental human rights that were set in stone by the United States for every human being nearly 70 years ago. Male dominance has been a thing for as long as we all can remember. It's always been a thing, even set in stone. Men were always up here and women were always down here, although they've been given a lot of things. Okay, the first women's suffrage attempt was in 1848 in New York. I believe this is very important. Although it wasn't successful, it's very important as it's the first set stone into freedom. Historical woman in early 1900s is Emmeline Pankhurst, Susan B. Anthony, Alice Paul, and Elizabeth Stanton. I will be discussing Emmeline Pankhurst. She was born in July 15, 1858 in the UK. I believe she's a very important figure because she was born in the 1800s and she lived upon the early 1900s, which is a very different era. She was an English political activist. She was the leader of numerous suffrage campaigns. In a few campaigns, she got in trouble with the government, and she was in jail 3 times. She visited the United States, Canada, and Bermuda, trying to involve women into her movement. She passed away a few weeks before women getting the right to vote. Even after 1928, women still were considered as property other than humans. They continued to be housewives and more so as just being able to produce offspring. But even though they were housewives, they were slowly getting more involved into the government. Frances Perkins was the first Secretary in Labor and the first woman to be in the government. Equal Pay Act of 1963. The Equal Pay Act prohibited any type of sex discrimination in job environments. Even though this was a thing back in 1963, it is still being an issue today. Going into 2022, women earn 82 cents for every $1 earned when comparing all women to men. Even though it was supposed to be a thing back in 1963, we're still having issues with it today. Civil Rights Act of 1964. Over 1.5 million women are physically assaulted every year, and 834,000 men are physically assaulted every year. That is a huge difference. And 1 in 6 women report their abuse, and nearly 2% is only taken into matters. I believe there's so many physical abuses because authorities don't really do anything about it. They either don't believe the victim or they just think it's not that bad. I believe it's women's rights is also important because the Texas Heartbeat Act prohibits abortion when there's a detectable heartbeat. This is very crucial to women, as women don't even know that they're pregnant. They could be far as 2 months or 9 months and they don't even know that they're pregnant. So I believe it's very important that they have the ability to decide for their own body whether they want to have an abortion or not, whether it's 2 months in or 9 months in. If they don't want to have the baby, they shouldn't have to be obligated to have it. It is also found that nearly half of U.S. women reported problems with their medical bills when giving birth. Compared to the UK, only 2% complained about medical bills, and that is because they're giving the right tools in the healthcare. If women aren't giving the correct tools in healthcare, they aren't going to want to be having babies anymore. The WHO states that today women's health has become an urgent priority, yet the data surrounding this issue are limited and often unreliable. Which I agree. I believe there's so many women out there that don't even want to get pregnant because of all the cost of it. The tampon tax, I believe it's still a thing today, and it shouldn't have. Tampons are an essential other than a luxury. Feminism. The word feminism is viewed differently by everyone. The word feminism is more as a statement for equality. Equality that is not earned but rather already given. This isn't a fight towards the other gender, but rather wanting peace for each other. The cycle will continue over and over unless we make a change now and it goes into effect. The idea of male dominance sounds wrong to most of us, but we don't seem to change it. It has been around for as long as we could remember, and even though people speak upon it, they don't change it, or they don't seem to want to change. The way to see change is by doing so. For better or for worse, our generation seems to have a shift in their point of view towards everything. This can be a good thing, as for older generations, it is not. The challenge is to have everyone on the same page to what is right and to what is wrong, as well as letting human beings enjoy whatever they feel to do so without having to feel insecure or bashed. Equal rights are not special rights.